welcome to this design practice module 16. We were talking about the Cal-C case study about how to build up a concurrent engineering environment, and in that we had recorded about 3 different phases of work. One phase was when we talk about the influencing dimensions to set up such an engineering environment. The second phase was about what are the major elements related to setting up that engineering environment or that CE environment. And then third is, of course, once all this is done and you have an ascertainment of what is the current level in which the organization is placed, what do you do to make it go forward into a envisioned level, and that you have to really do through an analysis mode, where you see what is the existing level, see where the organizations have to be in the near future, and then accordingly what all are the parameters which need to be changed between the different sub levels of the different factors which are associated with either the major elements or the product influencing dimensions, so that the CE environment can be mapped suitably into the future according to the requirements. So, for that we had actually framed up a table where we talked about the various levels of the influencing dimensions like product complexity, product technology, program structure, program future, competition, business relation and team scope. In this we further categorize the various levels as starting from the basic level A all the way to D. There were 4 different levels. For example, product complexity could include some things like catalog items which are easily available, or most common parts which has little state of the art in it, but again it is kind of specific to the product line which is being concerned. Then you have the state of the art items which are very sensitive, and they are only designed for the overall production of this system which is being considered. And then of course, we talk about a highest level of pushing the existing SOTA level, state of the art level, to a level where you have to significantly change the current items to reach that. So, a lot of research and development is needed in doing this. So, in that manner we had mapped all the different dimensions, influencing dimensions. Let us look at some of the elements now. So, we talk about phase 2 of the C setup process, which is about the major elements of the C environment. So, we can see that in order to characterize the C environment and examine the relevant aspects and details, particularly in the Cal-C case, the following major elements were identified. These were, for example, the organization. So, we have to map into what level the organization is currently in and where we have to take it. Then we then there was another major element of the requirements related to the CE setup, the concurrent engineering setup. Then what is the communication mode? Is it a vertical communication? Is it a horizontal communication? Is it something where you have cross functional teams involved in all the decision making? So, all these things are communications. And then of course, the product development methodology which is being followed. So, these are the major elements which in the Cal-C was considered to be having the major stakes in setting up the so called concurrent engineering environment. So, let us look at into the individual scopes of all these elements and see what are the themes behind the different let us say sub elements which are involved in leading to this major element. For example, if I start with the first aspect, that is the organizational aspect, let us call this A. So, we call this organizational aspect or organization. So, organizational issues refer to let us say aspects related to team dynamics, aspects related to strategic business issues. Let us say you have vendors as well as dealers, and what is your point of contention about the different business relationships? Is it only a buying selling relationship, or is it something which is beyond that? Do you have a stakeholding, for example? So, all these things come into the strategic business levels issues. Then you can have management and corporate culture that affects the product development process, as a part of the organization. So, let us just record this down as well, management and corporate culture affecting the product development process. So, these are the major sort of aspects related to what we know as organizational issues, and how can we really categorize the current C environment into these different issues. So, if we look at different elements here, for example, let us say if I try to look at some of these major sub elements and try to formulate what are the reasons why these elements should exist on a business canvas. So, let us say we have these organizational sub elements, and each of these sub elements would be dedicated at a current level towards a probably certain theme. So, let us say what is the aspect because of which this element should exist. So, there is one aspect here which we may say as team membership. So, the membership should have a overall strategy or a theme of team integration. Okay. So, members should not be looking mostly although they should have out of the box ideas, but they should eventually lead to an integrated approach while working in a team. So, people who are team players are preferred in some cases. Okay. So, there is also an organizational sub element recorded as team leadership. So, the team leadership should have a basic theme of effectiveness. So, for example, a team leadership or a leadership role can be typically management appointed team leader or management selected team facilitator, or again team selected facilitators are sometimes even more effective, or then there are maybe a possibility that some members they are naturally emergent as the most knowledgeable leader, and that is what survives from a longer time. So, the effectivity of deploying somebody in the leadership capability may be varied based on the approaches that the organizations use, and we will also look at what is the least desirable and what is the most desirable in terms of this ABCD scale again when we talk about developing such an element. Okay. So, we have team membership, team leadership as an organizational sub element. Then we have things related to, let us say, team member contribution. Once the team is formulated, a leader is appointed, what is the contribution? Is it a well defined role of a certain individual who is a member of a certain team? That is very important. So, here there should be a synergistic approach as a basic theme between the different members, so that their contributions do pile up together to have the projection into, or they are projected into the overall approach that the team follows or the contribution that the team makes. Okay. So, then you have business interrelationships as again another organizational element in this particular case. So, let us write this down, business interrelationships, and here the theme between which this interrelationship is based in is participation, that how are you just a buying and selling kind of relationship, or you are beyond that, like do you have a stake in the overall well-being of the organization, are you participating as a collaborator or just as a vendor or a dealer. So, that interrelationships of different business units are very, very important for a CE setup, and it is one of the major sub elements. Again, we talk about training here. So, training and education can formulate again organizational aspect of the C environment or organizational element of the C environment. So, this should be based on what is the awareness level. Are people needed on a team to be aware of the whole organization dynamics as such, or the whole industrial canvas, or they are just happy with what they know in the local environment in which they are participating. And so, based on that, the training themes could be different for different categories of CE environments. Then we talk about again responsibility and authority. That is another organizational element probably where we will need to identify based around the empowerment theme, because obviously when there is a certain level of empowerment given to each member as opposed to the leader, then obviously their responsibility and accountability sort of comes in together. Okay, and therefore, what is the degree of authority that is invested into an individual team member is kind of important in developing what would be the stakeholding of that particular member, or how closely he will be connected to the overall success decisions related to the C environment. So, then we again have a sub element of management decisions. Okay, so, in this particular case, the Cal C decides that this is one of the key areas where the management decisions are based around the theme of perspectives. Okay, so, perspectives related to whether the decisions are only profit based or planning based using products and cost accounting models, or they are something related to really life cycle of what you are producing, and using the life cycle decision support system to find out what is the what is going to be the critical decisions. So, based on these, there are different levels in which, again, according to the theme of perspective, you decide what is the level of the current level in the C environment of management decisions as a sub element of the organizational aspect, okay, of the C environment. So, let us now sort of try to tabulate all this together in terms of, again, different levels. I would again recall A to D as the 4 different levels of all these different organizational elements in phase 2, as just we recorded that for the influencing dimension in phase 1, when we are talking about product complexity or product technology, etc. So, here we will like to make again a table which talks about the various organizational elements. And you can see that these organizational elements vary between team membership, okay, what is the criticality in terms of who are members and who are not. So, critical members. Okay. Then you have the second factor of the element as team leadership. The third level is really related to the team member contribution. So, just let us write that down here, and similarly you have other factors in these organizational sub elements which are related to the business interrelationships, let us say between the various partners, business relationship, or for example training education, how that policy is for the current C setup which is existing, or for example the responsibility or authority which is vested on individuals, and finally management decisions. So, these were what we agreed upon in the Cal C system earlier to be the key sub elements for the organizational elements in a C. And obviously, as before, you know that the theme of team membership is team integration. So, therefore, it means that higher the level of team integration, the better it is for the C environment to be successful. And so, therefore, just as we split up into different levels A to D of the different influencing dimensions of the product in the earlier lecture, in the same manner we will do this between A to D again for the major sub elements of a C environment, just to gauge where the organization is among all these levels currently and where we want to take it ahead. In what of the or supposing we wanted to take it ahead, what are the influencing sub elements that we must change so that the organization goes to that particular level. So, here for example, in the first category, let us book an organization where members have only task perspectives. Each member of the team has been given a well defined task, and they just carry out as per whatever has been given to them, and do not look beyond that particular task. Okay. So, they are very narrowly trained in this kind of a situation. Let us just make these spaces for looking at the different elements. Okay. So, this is let us say level A is the lowest level. Lowest expected level is that each member would have a well defined task, okay, which probably either exists or maybe somewhere higher, the organization is already placed. So, then we have a level B where we talk about members who are having multidisciplinary perspectives. So, now there is some kind of a cross training. For example, person who is in let us say assembly repair would like to do something like weld repair on a vehicle, because he has that multidisciplinary training perspective which is into picture. And this is just an example. I mean, it can go to any amount of exemplification about multidisciplinarity perspective. Then we talk about another level where members have really product perspectives. So, here it does not matter what is the kind of engineering which is needed, or what is the kind of philosophy which is needed for developing or designing a product. You are just concerned with what is there inside the product, and then you have to have knowledge domain along all different walks of life which would be needed to realize such a product. So, it is members with product perspectives. And then of course, there is the highest category which is most reasonable for maintaining a C environment in a proper manner, which is that members have strategic perspective. So, not only members are related to only what is going to happen in their own domain of work within an organization, but they do have an envisionment about what are the strategies which an organization should use for being in business, okay, and how they can help it, so that this knowledge base which comes out of such team membership category may be shared at some higher level, management level, so that the company can do well. Okay, so that is how team membership is categorized. Similarly, if we look at team leadership, we will have again a theme which is related to just the excuse me, the effectiveness of the team leader. And so, here we will talk about, let us say in one case there is only a management appointed team leader, so this is probably one of the simplest examples where there is a direct involvement in appointing a leader of a certain let us say particular work domain, by looking at the skill set that various people would have, trying to map them into most accurately into different teams. Okay. So, here the effectivity may be not so high. Then we talk about again a case B here, which talks about management selected team facilitator. So, it is no longer appointed anymore. So, you have some kind of a stakeholding of people who are involved in the routine work of the team. So, there is some stakeholding of those people also in this decision. So, therefore, you talk about management selected team facilitator. Okay. So, we do not call it leader anymore, but we call it in a capacity of a coordinator or a facilitator who is just facilitating the team's job. There is yet another category C, where we talk about giving the onus from the management to the team itself. So, they select their own leaders. So, you have team selected facilitator, okay, and this may be one among the team members, and this may be on a rotation basis depending on what is going to be the strategy. And then there can be a category which is very dynamically assisted, which talks about again naturally emergent, temporary though, let us call this temporary, okay, most knowledgeable leader. Okay. So, there may be certain area where a work is envisioned, where there may be a certain team player who is the most knowledgeable, and so in this kind of a category, naturally that person who is most knowledgeable in that particular area emerges to be the team leader. So, it is constituting a dynamic team leadership, which is probably going to be the vision for the concurrent engineering approach. But again, you have to look at where existing you are in terms of your capabilities of the organization and where you have to carry forward. Again, we talk about team member contribution. So, theme here is synergism, for example. So, we can talk about contributions just segmented or discipline specific, or functionality specific. So, let us say we just call a category A here, which is segmented contribution, which is only related to your own work, which is not related to really what is going to happen to the overall product or system that is going to win the award winning criteria. So, that is one level. The second level is of course a sort of a leveraged system with interface tools and multidisciplinary advisors. So, you still have now some synergism, because you have some leveraging because of some interfaces which are available between what is going on existing level to maybe the overall creation or realization of the so called design, okay, which would finally be evolved or which would finally evolve as the award winning criteria. So, we talk about interface tools and multidisciplinary advisors. So, we were talking about the team member contribution. So, the level C of that could be something where we talk about a cooperative approach with a unified data model, central master database. So, let's look at this as something which is naturally evolving. There of course is a underlying assumption by all the participating members that whatever we do should be somehow unified together, so that the overall team goals may be met. Okay. So, but then it is sort of necessitated here, it is all understood and leveraged because of sort of a forced interface. Here it is all necessitated in terms of maintaining records as to exactly whether it is a cooperative or not, okay, approach or not. So, that is how we will account for level C. Level T again, level D would be the probably the highest level here, which will talk about collaborative approaches. So, now not only your own contribution, but the others contribution also becomes very important. So, you can say it is a computer assisted cooperative product development. Cooperative product development process. So, that is how we are going to have level D in that particular instance, and that is how the team member contribution would be varied. Similarly, for the key interrelationships between businesses, the theme is participation. So, there could be only a transaction based business model, where whatever you have bought and sold should be in terms of money, or a contractual where you give a part of the contract, like let us say you give a labor contract for those menial tasks which otherwise do not need a very high level of technical skill. Then there can be a level C again in business relationships, which talks about a joint venture approach, where there is a stakeholding of participating people, and then there is a partnership where even there has to be the highest stakeholding, meaning thereby that if the line of business is affected somehow, it also affects the collaborators who are into business, or the partners. Then we can talk about the sub element or training and education, where the theme was awareness. So, there could be again one level of training which talks about only, let us say team concepts, or you can talk about just computer assisted instructions to individuals of a team, which will clear doubts about sort of who is doing what within a team, without really have to worry about who else is doing what and in what manner. So, then there can be a multidisciplinary approach, where you not only care about your own job, disciplinary, so that the multidisciplinariness is introduced among the participants. So, you do a computer based training. So, you learn from the work domains of multiple teams. Okay. So, you have a better perspective, and then of course, there is another level of training which talks about cooperative decision processes. This includes multimedia based training programs, where you have some kind of an involvement. So, you have cooperative decision processes. So, supposing there is a need that a decision needs to be taken by two departments together for a certain activity which is going to be there. So, one must arrive at the decision after just duly talking to each other face to face, even through multimedia if need be. So, you can talk about this as a multimedia computer based training. Then one can have the level D, which is about again synergistic knowledge discovery. So, this is probably the highest level. Training may be such that you keep on discovering what new has happened in terms of learning experiences of a large multidisciplinary work or activity. So, this is actually the stimulation, this is like an interactive simulation. So, it will automatically change if processes down the line changes, it will automatically change the processes let us say upstream. So, that is how the training would be on level D. Similarly, when we talk about responsibility and authority, we know that the theme is empowerment. So, there could be just member responsibilities and rewards in one strategy of management that maybe if there is a certain responsibility that a member has who has done it diligently, and there are certain incentive promotion schemes which would be rewarding those members who have fulfilled their responsibility with authority. So, that is sort of an individualistic model. So, we call this on level A. Level B could be something like a multidisciplinary group responsibility. Okay. So, like for example, you have a lot of these quality circles where there are different people participating together for making or studying a quality problem which is of multidimensional kind. So, you need multidisciplinary training, for example, in that kind of a situation. So, in level B we have a responsibility which is also rewards related to this multidisciplinariness among different teams. Then there could be still a level C which talks about a decision making responsibility of a particular team. So, team decision based. So, the responsibility and authority of deciding something rests on that of the whole team's mind, okay, to take a decision. So, that is again sort of one level of responsibility and authority. And then you have the ultimate level of responsibility when we talk about team autonomy, that individually whatever is decided is accepted at the single team level, okay. And then there are certain autonomy features which are there all through, for example, for management of activities related to daily requirements, there can be a higher level of autonomy given, so that the team can autonomously decide something and go ahead with it. When we talk about management decisions, again there can be perspective based classification. For example, all decisions in category A can be mostly profit based, okay, or let us say even planning can be just based on the product unit cost or accounting models, planning based on product unit cost, something like that. You already saw this kind of management decisions when we talked about the lathe example earlier in the concurrent engineering activity. There can be yet another level D in the management decisions where we talk about single phase planning or investments using design to cost accounting with risk management. So, there is certain amount of risk which a team can take, management team can take for a certain decision, okay. So, you have a single phase planning, and you also have empowerment to invest using calculated risks. Then there can be yet another management decision making level which talks about multi-phase planning, and this can be using value based decision support systems, where there is no more cost accounting based or something. It is basically based on general experience about how a decision will change the scenario, and so plans at all levels as far as management decisions are concerned are based on investment using value based decision support system. Okay. And then yet there can be another level D in the management decisions, which talks about mostly the life cycle based decision making. So, this is actually a very broad overview decision which arrives at based on different aspects of the product at different times. Okay. So, typically that is what the final goal of all concurrent engineering environments are, that how you can actually integrate yourself to the product life cycle. So, these are how organizational elements are classified. Similarly, we will have some other elements here. For example, the second most important element is related to the individual requirements. Okay. So, we call case B here requirements. So, requirements would have various components, various sub elements, like for example, there could be product definition, okay, which is again a major element in the requirements related to the setup of an approach, a concurrent engineering approach. So, let us classify these as requirement elements, and then each of them would have a theme. So, this is product definition is based on the central theme completeness. Okay. So, how close you are to the actual product design, which would be eventually implemented, could be a definition, a product definition based requirement element. Similarly, there could be a requirement based on schedule types. For example, there could be parallelism in your approach when we talk about scheduling. Okay. So, multiple things can start and stop at same times when they are not interrelated to one another. So, that way there could be time saving overall. There could be again requirements driven by planning style. Here the theme could be something like adaptability, that how planning changes as one proceeds in time and how adaptable a planning process could be. So, that there is always a sustenance of this concurrent engineering approach. And then finally, there could be a validation of specifications to requirements which can be based around the central theme of how accurately you are mapping the specifications, which could be another requirement element. So, the product definition really refers to the process of capturing and translating the customer demands into the specification of the product and process features, and this is just because you want to at the end of the day satisfy the life cycle needs, including manufacturability, supportability, upgradability, even disposability, these different aspects related to the product. And mostly for this kind of requirements or planning of requirement elements, you use various tools. Like one of the most commonly used tools is also known as the quality function deployment, which I will be teaching in great details after this particular subtopic is over, or this particular case study is over. So, what the CALS model says is that you can plan the various requirements in terms of sub elements, namely these four: product definition, schedule types, planning styles, validation of specifications to requirements based around certain themes, just as you did in the case of organizational elements. Okay. So, you are doing some things related to the products and schedules and the planning needed. Similarly, you will have another aspect of the elements needed for, or the major elements needed for the concurrent engineering environment setup, which is about communications. So, you have already encompassed the organizational aspects and the requirements that are given to this organization. Now, how to communicate is also one of the key elements of this concurrent engineering. It means you are providing either horizontal communication among all functional areas, which include design, which include manufacturing, let us say support to the customers as well as suppliers, and various stages of let us say the product life cycle. See, the objective here is to optimize what you are designing and the decisions that you are taking in terms of designs. Just because you want to improve the product development process, the manufacturing of the product, and also the getting of support services, okay, for people who are users for that particular product. So, communication needs to be very, very effective. So, if I wanted to list different sub elements responsible for these communications to maintain a concurrent engineering based atmosphere. So, you have the following communication elements based around the following themes, which would be considered in this particular case for finding out the different communication needs of such a concurrent engineering atmosphere. So, one of them could be, for example, the management of working data. The theme of this could be of control, that what level of control needs to be exercised by the management to the accessibility related to the management of the working data. Similarly, there can be another important element here which is about data acquisition and sharing, which again can be based along the central theme of accessibility. So, how accessible you are making the particular data and how accessible is your acquired data also comes into or maps into the communication elements associated with the concurrent engineering network. Then you can also think of what are the lessons learned from feedback. Okay. So, this could be based around the central theme of experience. So, obviously, if more experiential learning is embedded into a concurrent engineering environment, the decision making is going to be much faster and appropriate. So, the reasons for all this communication based requirements are in principle the fact that this objective to optimize design decisions really depends on broadly on the communication processes. Okay, so, it is very important to sort of, you can say, the hierarchical barriers which are created within an organization to exchange information in a timely and accurate manner. So, that overall there is a satisfaction of the dynamism that exists within an organization for satisfying some product requirements, etc. There can also be other communication elements except from how you manage the working data, or how you acquire and share the data, or how you are learning from feedbacks. The fourth more major communication element could be something related to decision traceability. So, there you can basically talk about legacy issues. For example, who was responsible for a certain decision at a point of time, because of which some particular environment has been created related to the C environment. Okay. And then you can also talk about interpersonal communications as another element, which talks about mostly equality, that what is that you would need to know and how equal it is in terms of or how equal it maps in terms of any other person within the same organization, which can actually set this communication elements for a CE environment. So, just as we did a gradation of the past two requirements, namely the organizational aspects as well as even the the influencing dimensions into A to D category, we can actually have categories to again organize these requirement elements and communication elements of a C environment in terms of various levels at which they can be placed. And so, once this whole hierarchy of phase 2 is being developed, with phase 1 we would like to map where we are in terms of the influencing dimensions, and phase 2 again where we are in terms of the various elements that constitute the existing concurrent engineering economy, and then we can take of course a decision that where we would need to go to help ourselves get into shape for the to be concurrent engineering environment. So, I am going to now, before going ahead, share with you another important requirement or another important element for concurrent engineering environment, which is about product development methodology, following which we will look into some of these tabular means of representations into various levels of the requirement, communication, and the third product development methodology. And then we will go into the final analysis phase, where we will take a case study and try to talk about the exact map of where the organization is given some conditions and where we want to take it ahead. So, this particular module I would like to end now, and in the next module I would like to go ahead with the next part of phase 2, which is about the product development methodology. So, thank you very much for attending this lecture. Thank you.